WrestleMania 35 is 18 days away, and we have a lot to go over, so let's go to it first off with the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. By the way, excuse me, my voice seems a little different, a little under the weather right now, but hopefully it'll go away soon. It's not terrible, but it's just a nuisance. But anyway, back to the Battle Royal here. It's surprising the fact that this is the 6th annual Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. I think about how long it's come as a match, and just in general, it's awesome. But the only man that has entered it so far is Braun Strowman. So with a battle royal, it's hard to predict the winner, but Braun could honestly go all the way and win this thing. He's obviously the only man, so obviously he has the best chance of winning so far. But based on the fact that these are usually 30-man battle royals, usually maybe 30, 40-man battle royals, possibly, I will say Braun, if he doesn't win, he is in the Final Four for sure. Next up, something we forgot to mention last week. It's not really a prediction, it's just a update. Alexa Bliss will host WrestleMania. We learned that last week, and this week we learned that Elias will be the musical guest for WrestleMania, which is interesting. Not really predictions, though, just kind of a thing that's happening there. But Bliss is probably the perfect host. There are some rumors of her being injured, so probably just put her in this role, and that works out. It'll be interesting to see what they do. Next up, the Cruiserweight Championship, as Buddy Murphy defends against the man who won the tournament last night, Tony Nese. Murphy obviously turned on Nese after the match. I feel that Nese wins this match, because if he doesn't, he goes back to what he's been doing as kind of being an elevated enhancement talent, which is what I don't see Nese being. I see Nese being a star. I see Nese having so much potential. He could be a main eventer and eventually leave the Cruiserweight division, get a few more pounds under his belt, so he's no longer under 205, and be Intercontinental Champion, be United States Champion. But that starts with him being the Cruiserweight Champion, and that will happen at WrestleMania. Now the match that people have been bitching and moaning about. Kurt Angle, in his retirement match, faces Baron Corbin. Now this match, people thought that, it would make more sense that John Cena was Kurt Angle's, rephrase that. Angle was John Cena's first ever opponent. It would make sense that Cena would be Angle's final opponent. And that's the road people were assuming. However, that is not going to happen. Baron Corbin will be the opponent, and Angle will have a clean and easy victory, in my opinion. However, WWE has the option of all the time superstars losing their retirement match. I don't think in this case that will happen. But what a send-off that would be for Angle, but let alone what a moment that would be for Corbin. How much momentum he would get out of that, I'm not sure. By retiring Kurt Angle for good, potentially. Or being the man that beat Kurt Angle in his final ever match. Potentially that could happen. If that happens, expect the biggest riot in WrestleMania history. Expect the ring to be destroyed. Expect things that might end the show prematurely, in my opinion. This could be more of a ECW traditional crowd rioting and just fucking shit up in general. Especially if it's a Philly crowd, good lord. But I feel that Angle will win just to prevent the biggest riot in WrestleMania history, in my opinion. Next up, we have the United States Championship, as well as the right to become the face of America, as the current face of America and United States Champion Samoa Joe defends against Rey Mysterio. Now, Joe won this at the last pay-per-view, or excuse me, the SmackDown before the last pay-per-view, and originally it was going to be a Rey Mysterio Andrade match. Carmella had a petition. Joe signed it, in effect making him in a fatal four-way match against Truth, Rey, and Andrade. Now, Rey Mysterio will be facing Joe for the title, and Dominic Ray's son, for those that may remember him, as a little boy that had adoption papers or some form of contract stating that the winner would be Dominic's father in that legendary SummerSlam ladder match against Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero, the late great Eddie Guerrero, which we had the immortal line, "Where the fuck is Vicky?" Good times. But Dominic, he's gotten fucking huge. Last time I remember seeing him was Lucha Underground. He was fucking huge then. I'm like, holy shit, this kid has grown up. And it's weird thinking when you remember that small, maybe 5-year-old blonde-head boy was so innocent in the world, and now he's bigger than his father, first of all, which is always kind of weird. But just a fucking beast, looked like. Jesus. Dominic could be great in this sport if he chose to do that avenue, just with his size alone. But nonetheless, Dominic will be ringside for this match. I will say that Joe will retain because it makes no sense for him losing the title this early. But if you're going to have a shock value for WrestleMania, give Ray the belt, but I don't think it'll happen. And finally, AJ Styles versus Randy Orton. A match we talked about last week potentially happening, but now is now official. And they have been going at it for a little while as far as pipe bombs are concerned, using the indie route, using Dixie Carter, using Orton's family history. This will be an all-out war, I can guarantee that. But I honestly don't care who wins, but just to pick somebody, I will go with AJ Styles, just because. Not that Orton won't win, I think it'll happen, but I feel that AJ needs it more. It's the case of who needs it more, and I feel AJ needs it more. Before we do go off, though, we do need to talk about the gauntlet match we talked about last week. Kofi Kingston won the gauntlet match, but then Vince McMahon made Daniel Bryan the final boss, per se, in this gauntlet, after Kofi went for everybody. Kofi did not win, so Kofi does not go to WrestleMania and does not face the Hemp Champion. That being said, I feel like next week will be something of Kofi somehow getting the title shot anyway. But as far as we know now, 18 days away, there was no WWE title match at WrestleMania as of yet. That could change next week. We don't know. But as far as we do know, WrestleMania is 18 days away. And a big card that could be lasting 15 hours with all the fucking kickoffs that'll happen eventually. Have a 5-hour kickoff. Have a 10-hour fucking card. Just why not? It's WrestleMania. Just go until 5 in the morning. Why not? Fucking WrestleMania comes once a year. Why just have it happen?